This is Curtis Johnson, and we're going to hike New World Gulch. I'm going to take you with me. This is New World Gulch is a trailhead that's less popular than Bear Canyon. It does share a parking lot with Bear Canyon. If you look here, you see the sign for New World Gulch. Then on the left there, you see the trucks parked. And Bear Canyon, the very popular hiking and four-wheeling trail, is just off to the left up that canyon there. New World Gulch, we decided to take a loop. If you look here, you see that there's also a loop for Moonshine Gulch. And so we'll show you what the trail looked like and also what that cutoff looked like to find Moonshine Gulch. It didn't look like very many people had been taking that trail recently, so that was kind of fun to find. Also, not very busy. I did have some problems with my GoPro. I thought I like to do it in the time-lapse mode, which shows the hike in fast motion, but I got it set in slow motion, half time. So missed some footage of the first part of the trail, but you see it when we come out. But yeah, to get to New World Gulch, you go out the interstate, take the Bear Canyon exit, and you just head from the interstate. You just head, I don't know, it's probably about a quarter mile to the west and turn left. So you're headed south down Bear Canyon, and I think it's like 3.5 miles till you see that parking lot we were talking about earlier. The trail itself, when you do the loop, it's about 5 miles. It was kind of fun to do the loop and see something different on the way back. I do like a loop trail where it's not the same thing coming down as it was going up. But we'll fast forward here and get up to the hike where you can see more of the trail in fast speed. You see we had Clyde the mountain lapdog there, and so let's get to the fast motion. And of course, over there on the right, I do have a page from the Day Hikes Around Bozeman book, which is sort of the Bible for good hikes around Bozeman. As I mentioned, this is about maybe half a mile in, a mile. The first part of the hike, I had trouble getting the camera settings right, but you can see it just kind of goes along. One thing I would say about this hike is it's pretty shady. It was a hot day. This was August. It was really pretty warm. We went in the evening. I think we went around 4 o'clock. And a perfect time to do this, a little afternoon shade. And the trail does go along the creek initially, so there's 3 or 4 spots where the creek's right next to the trail. It's a great place to bring the dog. A dog can get some water. Sort of the way that I'd characterize this hike is it's a decent. It's not too steep a pitch. It's not you don't feel like you're struggling, but it does climb for the initial the part of the hike, and then kind of midway through, it does drop off just down into a little gully, and then comes up again. As you look off to your right at one of the little mountain that this hike kind of circles, if you are doing the loop through Moonshine Gulch. So you can kind of see off to the right there through the trees, there's a little mountain, and we just start dropping down here into this little gully, and then we're just immediately going to start climbing again. But that little mountain you saw there off to the right briefly, I can't remember what it's called. It said it on the map. Again, it's still in the shade if you go in the afternoon, and so, again, you hit the creek, second time, good spot for the dogs. I see a little mud there. It wasn't too muddy when we went, until you got, a couple spots, like at the top of the meadow. We went a little beyond the top of the meadow. Here is the meadow. So this is sort of the main, kind of, I guess, landmark. You hit this meadow, and right there, we just passed the turnoff to Moonshine Gulch. We didn't realize it. We knew we hadn't been up here before, and just walked right past it. We're kind of looking for it because that side, as you will see, is very camouflaged. It's not that many people take it. So we ended up going up quite a bit past the meadow and then stopping and thinking, okay, I think we've gone too far. This trail, if you look at the graphic I had earlier, I believe if you continue on it, you'll actually get up to Mystic Lake. Sort of how if you were where you'd end up eventually if you went up Sourdough and biked whatever it is, 10 miles up, as a lot of people do. So we did go up, and then we realized, we think we went too far, so we turned around, came back down, and said we have to look for this turnoff to find Moonshine Gulch. There's a little water there. So I did get my Onyx map out. You see me checking my phone there, and just kept looking at that and realized, okay, so we're going to have to take a left here somewhere. And you see those trees that come out. That's kind of the way I would recognize it. It's like, oh, right here, and then you see this just a little trail. And kept checking my phone to make sure that we were on the Moonshine Gulch side, because it's just not that many people on it. We saw, I think, 3 groups when we were on our way up, but we saw no one when were doing the loop to back down and around on the Moonshine Gulch side. We were in shorts, and because this trail isn't used very much, you can tell there are spots where it really kind of walking through the weeds, and we had shorts on. It was kind of scratchy a little bit. But, if I had wanted to take a hike where it just wasn't going to run into any people, I think this would be a good one, because it really did look like it's very rare that people, it's just not a very popular trail, but it was nice. You kind of go, as I mentioned, that little mountain is off to the right. You're circling it. You get over here, and it's again all pretty much in the trees and shaded. This is on the west side of the little mountain, and you just kind of drop down, circle back around. I think August is a good time to do this loop, because as you'll see a little later on, at the very end of the loop for Moonshine Gulch, you do end up basically walking down through a little creek. And of course, in the spring, that would just not have been very pleasant. You would have had water inside your boots for sure. But yeah, it was just a nice hike, very quiet, shady, just a good spot to go. And I'll just let it run here a little bit. And at this point, we are sort of headed back toward the parking lot, generally in an easterly direction. It felt like you were sort of in, like Washington or something, with all the, the green foliage coming over the trail. I didn't hit any nettles or anything. None of the bushes seem to aggravate our bare legs, but yeah, we probably need just a few more people taking this trail to get it and to knock some of those bushes back a little bit. I don't know that this would be a trail mountain bikers would go on, so that might be if you just prefer to hike and not see a lot of mountain bikes. I don't remember seeing any mountain bike tire tracks on this. We did see, of course, some mountain bikers coming down from Mystic Lake back down to the from that side. So it might be a loop that some people do to go up to Mystic Lake from the Sourdough side, then come back down this side. And you saw the water back there, and again, here you see, this is kind of what I was saying, you end up basically, you have to kind of walk through the creek to get out on this side. The trail just goes right down in the bottom of the creek bed, so it's not a very long section, but I don't think you could really, it'd be kind of a pain to try to escape it. So, and then here we just rejoined the trail, and now we're just back on the main trail, and this is what we missed on the way up. We did have the fast motion going on the way out, so you can see that the first part of the trail here, as you're on your way up, it's paralleling the creek, and there's lots of spots for for your dog to get some water, and it's just a great, nice flat pitch as well. So it's a really nice August hike. Certainly less crowded than a lot of Bozeman's hikes. It's not like the M, even though it is relatively close to town. Just being 3 miles down Bear Canyon, and Bear Canyon exits maybe a couple miles east of Bozeman on the interstate. So it might be 5 miles from downtown Bozeman to get out here, or something along those lines. So not very far away, and nice pitch. It's not so steep that it's that you're feel like you're really having to work at it. And again, if you went in the middle of the day when the sun was overhead, of course it would be, it would be hot. But I think if you go, any time where there's a little bit of angle to the sun, you're going to get some great shade. And here you see we come back to the parking lot, found somebody's hat, put it up. Hope you enjoyed the video and that you get a chance to go out and do New World Gulch and the Moonshine Gulch loop.